Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to our cleanup crew challenge. Right, we need to sort out this lake because I'm at my wit's end trying to clear out all this messy pollution that we just... I mean, I say messy pollution, there's practically no pollution there, but that brown smear is just... it's doing my head in. I want to get rid of it. So, I've been thinking and thinking while I've been away on how to try and do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, I think, a water connection that just naturally kind of runs through this way. Might create a stream or something like that. I'm not quite sure yet. But in terms of the pumping, what we're going to do is we're actually going to take water out of here. We'll take these pumps out of here and we're going to move them over to a channel over here, which we're going to just run into the lake, and then the pumps will be sort of at the top of the channel, and then the channel will just cut straight through, and we'll have some garbage collectors placed in the channel so that any remaining last little bit of dirty water will be filtered even more before it goes back into the river. That's kind of the plan. So let's see where we have access, which is down here in this little corner. So we want to go into our landscaping tool for this, and I want to create a deep wide channel that kind of cuts in. It's going to tell me slope is too steep now, isn't it? Probably a little bit too close to the border there. There we go. So we do that. Create a really nice deep kind of channel. Let's just actually make it a little bit longer. There we go. And this is where our water filter is going to be. So, in theory, because I haven't actually tested this, one of these should fit. Let's just try and relocate this. Might not actually let me put it in here. Okay, that means we can't use this channel then. That's a bit of a shame. So we'll actually have to do some proper terraforming. It's because space is already occupied by the actual channel itself. So, in that case, we can kind of still have a little bit of a channel, but we can't do it the way I was hoping, so we need to take that out there. I want to leave that little bit there because that's where our water filtration units are going to go, and then we'll need to terraform a cut out of the land here. So let's do that instead. So let's select a height at the bottom of the river there. Just get the cursor lined up. That looks pretty straight. And let's start cutting down. Let's go a little bit bigger actually. See, this is becoming quite expensive already. That's 80,000, and we've run out of soil. We've got too much soil, but it does give us kind of what we were looking for. This is going to go crazy with water issues. As soon as I unpause this, the water's going to start moving all over the place. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we get a little bit of flooding as a result. Got a random tree down there. Let's just get rid of that. Speed time up. I need to find somewhere to dump some of the soil. I've been toying with the idea of creating a little island in the middle of the lake as well. I'm going to just get rid of that. Let's use this island ability here to kind of get rid of some of our excess soil. We'll create a little bit of a mini island in the center of our lake here. And who knows, we could maybe even put in a road, sort of bridge access, so that we can maybe build on this little island in here. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet. I'm certainly going to have some trees and stuff on here. I'm toying with the idea, as I say, of having some kind of connection on here. But what I might well do is I'll probably end up removing this whole section. There's the flooding from from causing big tidal waves through here. The other good thing, of course, is this is going to sort of push the water, hopefully, back through our garbage collectors again and maybe clean them up a little bit more. Yes, it's going to cause a little bit of flood damage to start with. That's unavoidable, unfortunately. We'll continue working our channel over here. Make this a little bit wider. You see the current fighting against itself there as the elevation changes and the water starts suddenly swooping in to kind of fill that void. There we go. That's not bad. Not perfect, but it's not bad. So we'll leave that like that for now. Let that sort itself out. How are we doing over here? So someone's dead. That might be a result of the flooding, actually. You can see the rest of the floodwaters is pretty much dissipated. That's going to have a negative impact on land value as a result of the flooding. Hopefully it'll start to restore itself again. We are going to continue to landscape around here a little bit, though. Just want to add in a bit more soil to our mini island over here. The other thing I've been toying with is having a ferry going from one side of the island, or one side of the lake to the other, and we could maybe have a ferry stop in the middle and connect that way. And then maybe just have some stuff with, without necessarily with proper roads, maybe just dirt roads and pathways and stuff, and just maybe put a park or something in there, or a nature reserve perhaps. We've got the ability to create a nature reserve. Admittedly, it won't be a particularly big one, but we have that option. So this is all starting to level itself out over here, which is good. Let's go ahead and... Actually, I can probably raise the terrain in there a little bit, can't I? Oh, I can't at the moment. I haven't got any more soil. That'll do. Let's move our... water filters, our treatment plants. I'm going to pause while we get everything set up. I say this kind of jetty here, this is going to disappear. Just rotate the camera around a bit more. There we go. The added bonus of moving these over here as well is that the noise pollution that these will, naturally just put out is now moved away from any kind of built-up area as well. I've been looking at trying to figure out how to improve my citizens' health, and there's no quick fire fix that I can see. It's down to making sure you've got a lot of sporting access and park and leisure stuff, making sure you've got good health coverage with your hospitals and medical centres. It's also cutting down noise pollution as much as possible as well. And we do have a few issues with noise pollution that we are going to have to deal with, simply because of the way that we've placed some stuff. you know, like tram lines that look great running through here, but do contribute noise to all of these houses through here. You know, some of our more densely built up areas over here are obviously quite bad for noise pollution. So we do have to try and find as many ways as possible to limit the impact of that. Now, some of that can be done through, you know, nice and simply just putting some tree roads down, and then just putting standard trees down in other places to try and act as noise filters as well. We're going to line this area with garbage collectors like this. I'm hoping 3 will be enough. Just want to make sure I've got, you know, all the angles covered. And we need to pipe these in and also connect power to them as well. But I'm hoping that those 3 garbage collectors will be all we'll need, and then we can just get rid of the rest of them. Let's just run this straight up. That's going to be the quickest way to do this, I think. Like that. We need power as well. And again, we'll just run straight up. To our network over there. Let's see how that works. So you can see instantly the water level rises as a result of having 4 plants all pushing water through here. This is why I wanted a reasonably deep channel. Alright, let's take a look at our info views. Let's go to pollution. We're going to get really strong current as well from the water just literally pushing itself straight downhill there, straight into the garbage collectors. And with good speed of current through there, we should get very, very good performance out of those floating garbage collectors there. I mean, at the moment, I'm not seeing any pollution coming out whatsoever. We know we still have a little bit in the lake. You can just see it's slightly darker areas around here. I do want to try and get rid of those as best I can. All got broken water. They're not connected to the main grid anymore. There we go. That solves the water issues. That might be as a result of the flooding that we had, so we're going to demolish that and please all the people nearby. Yep, there's a bit of water trapped down there, look. That's odd. I think it's still there, lurking below that house. Maybe it's gone now. Let's see a little bit there as well. It'll burn itself off eventually. It'll evaporate away. But what we might see now is, because we're just drawing from the lake, is what we might well find now is that A, this pollution over here should hopefully clear up, and B, the water level might start dropping because we're now not putting water back in here. Oh, we've got another plant over here that needs to be removed. Have I got a need for that one there? Oh, we were kind of borderline, weren't we? Alright, we could probably do with maybe squeezing an extra pair on here then, because our city still needs to get bigger. So let's try and squeeze on an extra pair over here. So this is the one that we took away, plus one extra for future proofing. That will of course push even more current through here. As they switch on and activate. Already a very fast current, as you can see. Our average ground pollution's down to just under 2%. That's excellent. All working so far so good. And there, if we just toggle on and off, you can see those slightly darker areas around here where that lingering little bit of pollution is. Same down here as well. Again, where those treatment plants were pushing out, you can just see, we just toggle on and off, you can just see that slight difference in shade on the water. That should now hopefully, as I say, start cleaning itself up as a result of no longer putting our sewage out through there. You can just see a slight dark sort of hueish to the water. It's a little tricky to tell through the cloud cover, unfortunately, and I'm not playing with random weather, but I still can't turn these clouds off. But there is a slight brown tinge to the water coming out. It's going through the garbage collectors, and I'm not seeing it sort of continue out into the stream. But if we zoom out here, you can just see, just in front of the collectors, do have that little brown pool just starting to collect. Which is that visual I've been trying to get rid of over here, trying and failing, unfortunately. Right, let's look at relocating these. Because I want to, as I say, get rid of this jetty here, and we can use the soil from this area to further develop our little island in the middle. I'm going to start getting rid of all these as well. So confirm demolition. Very little we can actually do now to further improve the lake itself in terms of water colour and water quality beyond what we've already done. I'm going to keep a couple of these in the lake because there's still a little bit of that little remnant of pollution that I would like to get cleaned up, and I'm hoping that the water being pulled in through here will eventually pull some of this water. I mean, obviously we're going to relocate these, but I'm hoping that if we put these sort of somewhere over here, it's going to pull the polluted water through. And already it looks as though that remnant of pollution is getting a little bit thinner. So we are getting to the point where that lake is cleaning out properly. And of course, we could just get completely clean drinking water just by taking straight from the lake, straight from the river, and we may end up having to do that to stop the lake from draining. We'll see how we get on. There are let's go back to relocate. There are some bits of pollution leaking out the back here, so I'm just going to. Again, I don't know if this is complete overkill or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to throw in an extra couple of garbage collectors over here. And then we'll put one more there as well. It might be that these just don't work very well in close proximity to others. I don't know. I haven't really had much opportunity outside of this to play around with these yet. So it's entirely possible that putting these in such close proximity is actually counterproductive. I don't know if that's definitely the case, but we'll leave it like that for now. And you can still see, look, there is still that very, very thin brown light colour as the water's actually, you can see it just starting to get into the stream there. There doesn't seem to be any way that we can actually get rid of that at all. It just seems as though it's always going to happen, despite, you know, our best efforts. We've got the best water cleaning plants, plus we've got the garbage collectors to try and scoop up anything left over, and we're just not having any kind of real impact in removing that slight brown colour to the water. So I think that's always going to happen no matter what we do, but at least the actual pollution level is almost completely invisible. You can see there's just a tiny little darker patch of water compared to the main river there. So it's almost gone, but it's not completely gone. You can see our average drinking water pollution is at 0%. So surely that means we should have hit the objective. We go to milestones, go to scenario goals. Yes, there we go. Average drinking water pollution is under 1%. Our citizens' health has jumped up to 85%, or sorry, 80% as a result of that as well. So let's see if we can try and boost that a little bit better. We've got the ability to, as I say, put in some tree-lined roads to really improve things for our citizens. We'll certainly do that through here. This will help to cut down on noise pollution in these areas. We're going to make sure that we've got the car. What's going on here? Oh no, it's just I temporarily, because I put the tree-lined roads in, it temporarily messed up the bus stop, but that's now sorted. I'm going to try and make sure as well that we have yeah, the electric car policy enacted in more places as well, so that we can really try and cut down on vehicle emissions as well. Hopefully that will help, and certainly the electric cars should be quieter than standard traffic, you know, because they don't have very noisy engines. You know, they have electric motors. So we're going to upgrade a lot of these roads. This may cause some of our buildings to rezone slightly. Hopefully it won't be too bad. But we are definitely looking to, as I say, make an impact on our noise pollution. And you can see every now and again we get a little happy smiley face from citizens that are pleased with the improvements that we're making, which is good to see. It means that hopefully we are having a positive impact straight away. There we go, a few more happy people. We're just going to make the change to our eco district to start with. We'll see how that gets on. See if that has any real impact on our citizens' health. I mean, our eco district is actually pretty big. So it should be a kind of a good test sample to see what happens to the happiness and the health of our citizens from making these changes. You don't realise just how many roads you've got until you start upgrading them all. You realise just how big a job it becomes. There we go. Because of that corner, I had a feeling, yeah, that was going to cause some rezoning of houses, which is exactly what's happened. It's usually on the corners that it happens. You know, it just changes Yeah, if you've got a slight bend or kink in the road and you get a change like that, it just seems to widen the road profile ever so slightly, which causes houses to need to be rebuilt. So you've actually got a block there we can add in to make a larger plot of land available. Let's go back to continuing to upgrade the roads with a little change. Is that eco? No, it's not. So that's kind of the border there. In fact, really, I suppose we should take that one away, but I'll leave that one there like that. Let's put that one back. There we go, because that kind of borders on the edge there. So we'll leave that little connecting road with the trees. Right. So we've done this road. Done through here. Let's do this little cul-de-sac. Again, a little bit of rezoning going on. Okay, so this lower section here has all been done. You can see some of them, they don't look like they've got the tree lines, but it's because of the bus stops. Obviously, the trees have to be kind of taken away to make space for the indentations in the road for those stops. Just noticed that how you've almost got a kind of a ramp there in the road as it goes up the hill there. Right, let's continue over here. That one's been done. Let's do this side bit here. And this should all be coming into immediate effect. So by the time we've finished doing this, we should already see some benefit from everything that we've already kind of done. Let's just expand that commercial plot slightly. There we go. Back to roads. How far out does this go? Is this... Yeah, this is all eco up here as well, isn't it? So it goes all the way over to here. This kind of curved road here is our boundary road. By the look of it, there's a couple of little bits in places. So we've got a couple of eco homes just here, and then it goes into normal stuff there. And then this is all eco up to this junction here. So if we take this as our end point, like that. Yeah, we've done through there. We've done along through here. I think we're almost done, you know, with the roads. I think they're almost all done. We've got this little bit over here that needs to be reworked. Again, getting happy smiley faces. They are loving the changes. And it's quite noisy over here because we're close to the roundabout, we're close to the farm, and we're close to the main road over here as well. So any change that we can make over here is going to have a more of an impact, I think. And we're certainly going to put down some other trees, I think, you know, to try and mask some of the noise coming from the main road, the roundabout, and the farm. We'll put a bit of a tree block through here to try and limit some of that noise into this area here, and through here, and through here. Create almost like a mini forest, I suppose. Of course, there then becomes the risk that if we get a fire, the whole area burns down, but it'll grow back if that does happen. I think I've covered every area. Just a couple of these little sort of side roads that need to be done. I think that's the whole district. Just looking to see if I can see any roads that haven't been done, and it's tricky as well because you zero in on one of those and it's a bus stop, but you see it and you zero in thinking there's no trees there, and then you realise it's because there is actually a bus stop there. But there we go. I think we have added trees to the entire block, which is excellent. That's what we wanted to see. So let's see, has that had a positive impact on our citizens' average health? Milestones. No. No, it hasn't. That's a bit of a shame. That's a real shame. Okay. They're happier anyway. It'll look nicer as well. So, it's not the end of the world. Let's start putting in some trees though. I'm just trying to decide which tree I want to go with. We want to go with a small bush, I think. Just plant some small trees through here. We're going to thicken some of these bits up as well, because that doesn't really seem to be having much of an impact. Let's go to a larger brush too. Doesn't look as though we're actually placing any trees anymore. It's a very random kind of odd placement of trees, and they kind of pop up a little bit, but then they don't really fill up a lot of the space. Let's go for a different tree. Let's put some flower trees in there. And space a few of those through here. These flower trees obviously part of the new Park Life DLC. I think these were... I can't remember if these were Park Life assets or if these were part of the free update assets. But, nice new little additions there. Let's take another one. Try and spot a few of those in. There we go, adding a splash of colour. And hopefully, these are still pretty loosely kind of spread, but hopefully they will have a positive impact on some of the noise levels a little bit. And we can always, thicken up the density with some manual placement as well. Let's go with some slightly more traditional looking trees. I suppose what we should have done is we should have done a before and after look at the noise pollution levels, shouldn't we? Well, we'll do that the next batch of trees that we throw down. But we've got a nice little kind of block of trees starting to form in there. So let's just take a quick look at our noise pollution levels. It looks as though maybe, I might be wrong, but hopefully we've actually had a slightly positive impact with those trees. I'm not 100% certain. It does look as though there's the possibility of the noise. You can see it's changing a bit as well. Our average noise pollution is 20%, which doesn't sound too bad. I mean, it's very tightly packed in certain areas, and let me see how noisy it is over here, through our commercial district. The tram line actually isn't as noisy as I thought it was going to be, which isn't too bad. And then we take a look at our eco district, and you can see here, look how few noise polluting vehicles are on the roads. You know, we've got, you know, the odd tractor that runs through here. These are our eco buses, our bio buses, and they're obviously a lot quieter than traditional buses. Some commercial traffic and some regular cars, but there's a lot of electric vehicles on the road as well, which are much, much quieter. There you can see, there's our electric vehicles, those very, very light pink ones. So they're definitely having a positive impact on noise pollution. And then obviously we've got a load of parked cars along here that aren't making any noise at all. Why would they? Our geo plants over here and our updraft towers are very, very noisy, as is our industrial estate, as you would expect. Horrendously noisy through there. But again, it's located away from our residences, and even over here, where on the border of our sort of high density area over here, you can still see it's kind of isolated noise wise, which is good to see. Not a major impact. And this area obviously quite noisy as well. We do have offices, I think it was, along here. Yeah, again, trying to keep that noise away from our actual residences. And our main block of residency that's high density is over here. Looking very, very swanky indeed. So if we go back to our noise pollution again, you can see we've got quite a lot of noise through here. There's quite a lot of traffic building up through here as well. Even with our asymmetrical road, I think we need to upgrade that. Let's go with the medium road, and I don't know if the trees are going to have an impact. Well, we're certainly going to suffer with pollution, but we'll try throwing those in. We can at least filter traffic through the junction going into the roundabout a little bit faster. That roundabout is very busy, but it's continual. Yeah, there's no queues, there's no hold up. It's all working quite nicely. We're going to clump a load of trees in there in a moment as well. Again, I want to have a look. See, the actual impact of noise pollution through here is not too bad. The vehicles are a little noisy, but it's not horrendous. And obviously over here, where the traffic is very heavy, this is where the road's quite bad. You can see this little junction here, again, because we're getting a lot of noisy traffic waiting and queuing here. We are getting some issues with a little bit of noise pollution in this area, but it's not too bad. We're going to throw some trees in here and maybe see if we can eliminate this light pink smear. So let's go back to our tree placements. I'm going to want a small tool. Just use the tool to place down some trees as best we can to start with, and then we'll go in and probably add in some more with the individual placement option. I think that's as many as the tool is actually going to allow me to place down. While I'm here as well, I want to go with my bush tool. Where's the big bush? Doesn't look like it's there anymore. What happened to big bush? Oh, it's going to be in here now, isn't it? Vegetation. Oh, maybe not. Alright, let's get some high vegetation for the roundabout. Oh, and these are individual, aren't they? Okay. That could be a bit more awkward. Yeah, this is going to be awkward. It's going to be time consuming to do this. But we'll throw some trees in the middle. What I'll probably do is try and squeeze some smaller bushes in to the gaps in between, you know, along the roadside. Excuse me. It's just come over all sneezy. I'm trying so hard not to sneeze. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to want. This is the other problem, is that sometimes it just, you know, the trees just don't seem to want to go down in the area, which is a little frustrating. So we have to kind of go to single placement. Then we can just kind of throw them in there. You know, these trees are probably a little bit taller than I was expecting, but there we go. Those should be quite effective noise screens, actually. I mean, we never really saw massive amounts of noise through there. But we do really need to find an area. It does actually look as though these trees have had an impact over here, look, doesn't it? You can see the noise pollution being pushed away and around the edge of those trees that we placed in, and then it does look as though they have had a positive impact. And again, over here as well, you can just see that the trees do seem to have some kind of impact. We really could try and experiment with this a little bit more. You can see our noise pollution from our water towers is pretty high. Let's just empty the graveyard. Let's try dumping in a load of trees over here. Just surround these towers with trees like this. And let's see if that has a real kind of screen effect, which is what we're hoping for. It does look as though it's lessened it a bit, doesn't it? There's still some noise pollution there, but it does look as though it has lessened the impact of the noise a little bit. And we can always look at relocating those out of the area completely as well, as another sort of way to move some noise out. But I wanted to see just how much of an impact they had, and it does look as though they haven't removed it, but they have lessened the noise pollution a little bit. The average noise pollution hasn't really changed, but that's because, yeah, we're only making minor adjustments to low noise areas. You know, the really heavy areas like this over here. You know, there's not a lot we can do regarding those. As long as we can stop it from bleeding through into the residential areas, then that should be a positive thing. We do have a few other areas that we need to look at, as you can see, to try and improve that. I would like to try and improve the noise through here a little bit. Throw some random trees in the gaps beyond or around here to try and lessen the impact and look at maybe throwing in some tree-lined roads down here. Actually, let's just have a quick look as well. We can see the impact of tree-lined roads through here. We've just seen that this is a very bad area for noise. We throw these roads some trees. I'll leave this to run for a few moments, and then we'll have a look and see what kind of impact that has. So at the moment you can see lots and lots of red, a little bit of pink around the actual edges of the buildings. We'll leave this to run like this, and then we'll come back in a few moments at the start of the next episode, and we'll see just how much of an impact those tree-lined roads have had. And it does already look as though some of that pink is actually shrinking away a little bit. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more of our Cleanup Crew Challenge here on the PS4 very soon.